Hello Pixify fans, Tony Cooper here once again with part 5 of our Products 2.0 tutorial. There's a lot more information in this one that I think you'll be able to use on a daily basis. We're going to talk about booking pages and proposals. Okay, so when we last left off, what we were doing is we were in the middle of kind of going over how you use the new product templates. Obviously, you want to set up the products that you're going to track in as your product templates, and you're going to want to make sure that they have a workflow that you can use. And when you are using these products in packages, you also want to make sure that you are building packages specifically with product templates that you have already set up so that they are product templates that are going to be tracked. So for example, on our build custom set item, we had this set up so that when it is called, it is using a product item over here in the product templates. It is using our build custom set item, which is going to auto attach to the event or project that calls it, and it's going to run our workflow, and it's going to be due in 30 days. So you want to make sure that all of this is already set up when you start working with your things like your booking pages and your proposals. So one more element that we also went over in our last tutorial was that when you are setting up your invoices, that you want to make sure that you are using invoice items, packages, or product templates that have already been configured. So I think the honest review part here that I'm trying to get to is that if you're going to utilize these things effectively, these new product templates and their product activity, you just need to make sure that they're set up, and then you need to make sure that they are included everywhere that they need to be. Example, if you have an invoice that you're working with, and you are using, if you were using something that was build custom set, and that item custom set did not have a product template or package that would propagate all of these items, then you would not have the activity. There would be no automation associated with it, and it would just roll through as an item that needs to be paid for by the client, and nothing would be done in the back end unless you did it manually. So that's why the automation element is so important, and why setting it up is so crucial. So what we're going to do today is, after a couple of more little review items here that I wanted to point out, I wanted to make sure that you knew that you could add these to booking pages and to proposals, and those are the last important elements of where we can add product automation. So when you are considering your product templates, you're building workflows that start at a smart point. What do you need to have done by the automation, and when does it take place? Are there emails going out? To whom are they going? Are they going to the staff? Are they going to the client? Or are they going to a vendor that's associated with the product? Do you have text messages going out to any of those three? When are they going out? What time? Who receives them? And then of course there's the tasks, and there's the auto creation of things like questionnaires. Questionnaires can be set up as well for your product templates. Maybe it is a product that requires some fine tuning. For example, I've started using the contractor as an example of how we do our product templates. And one of the things that I found most compelling about, for example, a contractor is someone orders, for example, to have flooring put into the house. So if they have this flooring to be put in their house, how much room are they going to need? Did they measure the walls, and how much area is needed, which tells the contractor how much stuff they need to get, how much underlying elements there are, how much of the actual product there is for installing, whether or not they need to use molding. There's a whole bunch of things that you would have to ask the client. For example, we need to know all these things about what you want installed. And then, of course, that information is something you pass on to your vendor, if you're a contractor, to your vendor to order the necessary product. And those are why questionnaires become so critical, is because any product that you're ordering, any product that you develop that needs back-end information about sizes and colors and things like that are things that you want to get from your client. Having the ability to create a questionnaire that goes to your client and gets that information for you is just kind of a icing on the cake kind of thing. And we had talked about the variety of different things that you can do inside of a product workflow. A quick overview of your product workflow, and it is one of the 4 types now, so it is a product workflow. There's other things that you can do. Of course, you can switch the status, which we've done here. You can mark a product as finished, which is at the bottom of your workflow, or the last thing that you want done. And of course, you can still add Zapier triggers. When we talked about some examples for that as well. So I really encourage you to go back and watch at least the last 3, 2, 3, and 4 parts of this series on Products 2.0, because they cover so much and they all are kind of woven together to get everything in one place. The first one is more of an overview, but the next 3 after that are how we built to where we are now. So all we're doing now is just adding things into parts of Pixify that already exist in your system. So what we're going to do is, if you have booking pages at all, if you have proposals at all, stay tuned, because it's going to be important for you to be able to add product templates, packages, product templates that you need to use the automation on into booking pages, into proposals, and you want to add your product template automation to them as well. And of course, now that's easy enough to do. So what we're going to do back here in Pixify is, let's first go to our booking pages. And I'm going to continue working on one of the same ones that we've been working on before. That was our senior portrait sessions. And I wanted to remind a few of you, some people have asked about making certain booking pages private. And of course, most of you know that in your booking pages, when you're in your booking page listing, you can set up any of your booking pages so that they appear on a central booking page. Okay, but one of the things that you may not know is that, or may not remember, is that they don't have to appear on that home page. Okay, so when you're here in your setup or your settings, one of the things that you can do for each individual booking page is you can make them either public or private, which is how you assign a password to it. You want to be able to say whether or not it appears on your main booking listing visibility. And what this is just a consolidation of all of your existing booking pages that are visible to your client. So this may be one that you only want to set up, for example, for by invitation. So only if you invite someone to this booking page can they actually see it. So you would consider this a hidden booking page, and they would only be able to see it if you sent them the link. Otherwise, you can leave it visible. It'll appear on your main listing and you'll be good to go. Also, if for some reason you want to prevent unwanted people from going in and just booking any old thing they want, there's a lot of different reasons to require a password. I recently changed one of my booking pages to require a password because I wanted to stem the flow of orders for new services because I was backed up. So it just prevents you getting information from people or getting new bookings from people that you're not ready for yet. All right. So if you want to have your visibility as public or private, then of course you can just say switch this to private, put in a password that you want to be able to share with them. You do have to give them the password. It's not something that's available in a token. So you can say set it to private, give them the password, and send them a link, and then you can control who actually has access to your booking pages. What we know about product page or booking pages and product templates is that booking page services, when you set them up, for example, let's just go into our senior session here. When you set them up, there's no area that says populate from existing product template, for example, or populate from existing package, for example. And there's none of that is in here. So when you set this guy up, you don't get the advantage of saying, well, I want to use this package or this product template. Instead, the great thing about booking pages is that they can be freeform. You can be as openly creative as you wish, and that ends up being more of a good thing for a lot of us, because a lot of the settings in here you don't want to specifically link them to your product because your product can act independently now. So booking page add-ons, also any of your add-ons, we're going to create a new service here just so I can go through the whole steps with you. So what you do is you go and you add a service, and we are going to do, this is going to be a senior session, senior portrait, and we're going to say it's for 3 hours, but it's actually for 2. And the reason why that time came over as automatically 3 is because in my event types, I have preset the length of time that a senior portrait event type takes, and it's preset at 3. But I'm going to set this up for 2, and we are gonna, there's no buffer. I'll just assign me as the person. We're going to do senior portrait. Let's see, we're going to do this as senior portrait special set. Okay, and the special set thing is 1500, and no original retail price. We don't need to get into all that. Let's see, it is taxable, and production to add to. If you're not using Studio Pro and Productions, you should really look into it. There's a lot of great stuff in there as well. So this is a client page. The contract, we're just going to use senior set, and then we're going to use the first and last name of the client. Scroll down to first and last, and I'm just going to copy this, Control A, Control C, Command on a Mac, of course, Control V, Command V if you're on a Mac. We're going to use the contract template, senior portrait. We're going to use the workflow template for just a standard senior portrait. I'll tell you more about this here in a second. Our senior portrait session, we're going to call it the standard. No event reminders, because all my event reminders are in the senior portrait. Workflow, I don't have any event status or event invoice reminders necessary because I use payment reminders instead. The event status is going to be waiting to shoot. There we go. And the payment terms template is going to be 50-50, I think, or half and half. All right, so that's good. All right, so we got all that set up, and in public description, we're just going to do senior portrait. I don't want to have you waiting forever while I type the whole thing out. With special set design. All right, because I think if you remember from part 4, one of the things that I described was a situation where people could order a custom set that would be custom designed just for them. I could give you some examples, but you're more interested in how this works than that. I'll do that on another tutorial at some other time. So these sets would be designed, and after they've been used and customized and set up just for that individual, they could take the set with them. And we're not talking like, you know, some grandiose backdrop with amazing props and things like that. It was centralized. It was such as, you know, a jungle scene. Okay, we would create or design a jungle scene just for them, and they could take it with them. It was kind of fun. But now, what you do after you've gotten the basics set up is the regular stuff. Is you open up your advanced options, and of course you're going to change in anything in there that you need. That you're going to add your times. You can turn off and on certain dates and times. You can set a price difference. I'm going to say it's $75 more for Mondays because Mondays are hard enough and you deserve to earn a little extra dollars. A couple of other settings here. We'll say that, well, we need at least 45 days, and they can book it out to 9 months. And no automatic thank yous, none of that stuff. We'll just leave all this alone. But when we get down here to link to product template, now you remember all of our product templates are the ones that we see over here, and these are all of our product template setups. Okay, and product templates, since product templates are the ones that actually start the automation for a product and start the activity flow, you're linking directly to the product template. Okay, so what I'm doing here is in my new booking page, I'm going to select the product template that is specifically for creating a custom set. Okay, so it's got the little lightning bolt next to it. You remember that the little lightning bolt is the one that starts a workflow. Okay, so it means it's all set up for everything. So any of these other things, I don't really need them right now, so I'm going to save that. Okay, so what I have done is, let's go back into it real quick. First of all, you should notice that if a product is linked to a service, it will have this little icon. It looks like a gift package, maybe I don't know what it is. It looks like a little carrying case, maybe a makeup case. Pretty nice, huh? And you can click on it. Nothing happens even though it changes, but it does tell you that it is linked to a product template. So we'll just go back into it real quick, and down in our advanced options is where it is, and right below hide end time on booking page, and right above the booking calendar information is the link to the product template. And of course you can change it at any time. You can switch it to anything else that you need to. Make sure that it is one that is built though. And we're going to update this, and now that's set. That's ready to go. You don't have to do anything else here. So all you had to do was add that on there, and remember that it does need to be the one that is set so that the product is linked to the event. okay, the event or the project. You don't have to set up a workflow. You do not have to set up a due date for it, but they help. You can still track a product without a workflow. You just have to make sure to include that yes on the product template right over here. I'm just going to open it up so that I'm not speculating. This guy right here, auto add product to object, and the object is either the event or the project, and make sure this is set to yes, otherwise it won't show up here. Okay, all right, so we got our booking page set up, but we want to add something onto our booking page as well. And you can add product templates. You can link product templates straight into your add-ons. So you click on add add-on, and you can, in this case, you can add or populate an add-on from a product template. This is contrary to the way you set up services. Remember that services are kind of the basic or the base item for your booking page item. Okay, so if you have a booking page, that is the foundation for the entire order, including the service, any add-ons that you want. Add-ons are a great way to add a couple extra bucks to your income for that particular service. But one of the things that you're able to do here in add-ons is you can link it directly to the product that you want, the product template that you want, based completely on what you're doing here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add my senior portrait makeup product template, and it's going to bring over all the product stuff. I don't even have to do anything. Copy product options, yes. Makeup services, senior portrait makeup. It's got the price. All I would have to do is set a couple of other things. No order, no multiples, limit to services. Yeah, I'm going to limit this to just the senior portrait special set and the senior session, because I have another service in there with makeup, and you don't need to add makeup to the makeup. So let's save that. And once I save that, here's that familiar icon that means it is linked to a product template. That's all you have to do for it. You don't have to do anything else with your add-on item. Now, one thing that you should know is that if you have an existing item and you want to add your product template to an existing item, one that you've already created that's been on your been in your add-ons for a long time, is you have this new prompt here called link to product template. How genius is that? If you can't create it that way, you can still have it that way. All right, so what was this? This was seasonal sessions. Seasonal sessions has been really popular in the last several years, but we're going to go in here and we're just going to link it directly to portrait session. So when we save that, what happens is now my seasonal sessions is linked to the product template, and you'll see it in here, portrait session. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and remove that. And remember the double dash. Double dash removes anything that you've selected that allows you to do so. Save it back again because I really don't want to set that up on there. But now I have two items in my add-ons that have product templates attached. And they currently already have automation attached to them, which is great. So what happens now is when a booking is done for this, and we're just going to go over here and open up my link for this, and here is my portrait booking thing, and it doesn't have a pretty picture like all the other ones do. I'm going to order this senior portrait special set, and then I'm also going to order my senior portrait makeup. This is a new thing, the new one that we set up. Okay, we can only order one of those. And now continue to choose my time slot. Remember, we have to order at least 30 days out. So Pixify knows that we have to order it 30 days out. So it took me into September. I can't even do anything in August because it's not enough time. Remember, we said 30 days. So Pixify automatically just went ahead and advanced into September. And I'm going to say anything on the 23rd, 24th, nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay, so we got the 30th. The 30th, I'll be able to do 1 to 3 p.m. And when I check out, here's what's going to happen. What's going to happen is that I've got two items. One is my senior portrait makeup, which is added onto the senior portrait special set. What's going to happen is when I book this, and I don't have a card with that much money on it, so I'm not going to even I'm not even going to save that. But what is going to happen is when I save this, when I save my booking, when I pay whatever needs to be paid, sign my contract. Of course, remember we attached a contract. Once I sign the contract and I go to the payment page, I make the payment, save that. The item of the session is booked. Okay. Once the session is booked, it puts those items onto an invoice. And you remember what happens when an invoice gets created with product templates that have automation is boom, it starts the automation. Okay, so that automation will appear right here in the automation page, okay, or the products page. And this is your product activity. It shows you everything. I'll just go over it really quick again. This is what the item is that has been ordered, when the date or when the start date is for it, when the due date is for it, and what the owner is, who ordered it, okay, what event it is or what project it is. And once we've got that set, we're good to go. We're golden from here. I'm going to remove that, clear this out, and we're going to move on because it's just that simple. I'm going to go over it real quick one more time. When you're setting something up, when you're setting up a new item for your services, you do not need to link to a product simply because booking pages are independent. They don't depend upon an existing package. They don't depend on an existing product. Okay, but that doesn't keep them from being linked to. So what you will do is down here under our advanced options, okay, under our advanced options, you're going to link directly to the product template that you want to use that will activate the automation or activate the product activity monitor, and everything just starts happening. It's just that simple. I love the feature being able to add these to booking pages because I think that is just so much more automation and you don't have to do as much stuff. Okay, and down here in add-ons, when you first set up an add-on, you have the option to link it to a product template just by populating it. And once it is populated, of course, it fills in a lot of the areas here. But when you get it set up, it's going to link itself directly to whatever the item was that you had populated from, which is helpful. And if you're going to edit an existing add-on item, you can just go right here to link to product template, set it up, save it, and you're done. So what will happen with this one, as it would happen with any that you ordered and set up correctly, or that you set up correctly, is it would have a service item that has linked to a product template, and it would have an add-on item that is also linked to another product template. And remember, you can have them as many as you can set up. You can have a ton of them. And the reason why I still consider this to be one of the most powerful features of Pixify is that when you have these product templates set up, they're separate from your event. They're separate from your project. The event stuff can keep going as it was, and the project stuff can keep going as it was. And remember, you can have projects that are related to events that have separate workflows. And now you have the product level, and the product level can just control everything for the product, right? So you have you just have a world of functionality here and a world of automation. So we're going to go after this. We're going to we're going to go over to our proposals. Proposals, you can do the same kind of thing for. Proposals, remember, are a completely different animal. So I want to make sure that you understand that when we are setting up our proposals, we're going to set up some stuff on my senior portrait session. I just want to try to keep things in the same line so that you don't get any more confused than I do. If I'm doing proposals for seniors, I don't ordinarily. What you can do, and this makes it so easy for you, is remember that you can add packages from here, existing packages. You can set up any of the packages that you have. Let's say, let's do this. We'll just set this up as a test portrait makeup design set package. Right? Remember the big one we set up in part 4? Well, here it is, and it's got all kinds of stuff. Whoops. And we're going to save that. And just then, all of that automation was added to that item. Because the package, remember, this particular package, and we'll go over and look at our packages real quick. This package that I just added to that proposal, this one right here, has in it all of these custom items, these individual product templates, and they all have their individual product template links. And these individual items are set for automation. So when you add it to a proposal like this as a package, it is linked instantly to the package, and the package is linked to the products, and the products are linked to their automation, and you're done. And I wish it were harder, because I could sit here and just talk and talk and talk about how difficult it is, but it isn't. It's just that easy to just add that package that's already been linked to those product templates, which we discussed in part 4. Okay, so with add-ons, with your add-ons here, it's a little bit different than that. And the only difference that you have here is when you are adding an add-on, you populate from an existing product. You're not populating from packages on add-ons. And these add-ons are just like the ones in Booking Pages. So all you're doing is you're looking for your individual items, your individual add-on items, and I'm duplicating, but I don't care. But what I really wanted to make sure that I knew was that when I save this, it is set up to use my product template. And we already knew that because it was pulled from the product template. So that's set too. That's all you have to do. So the process with proposals is after you get the proposal set up and you send it to your client and they open it, they see your beautiful page, they see your beautiful proposal page, and then you have the opportunity, or they have the opportunity to look at your proposal page, to look at the items that you've either pre-selected for them, or to look at the items that you have available. Select the ones you want, including any of the add-ons, add those on, and when they save all that, it gets put into the contract, or of course they get a summary of it so that they can look at it and make sure it's right. And then once they okay that, it gets put into the contract. They sign the contract after reviewing it, of course, and then they go from there into the invoice, and the invoice is populated with all of these great items. And remember what happens from part 4, when you save the invoice, the product template stuff begins. Okay, so it gets saved immediately. You just move on. You know, your proposal kind of dictates the starting of the product template. It starts the event workflow, if there is one. It assigns the staff, all those things. I have a tutorial on proposals, which I think is very valuable. It does not include this stuff, but it does include the information specific to you setting up, for example, all of the things that go into setting up up a proposal, including all of the information from this page, and it's very valuable to have that information, I think. So I'm going to remove this from my senior portraits, and I already was thinking about removing this extra add-on because I don't need it. All right, so where you can set things up now is just about anywhere that they're usable. You can use them. You can use them in your invoices. Okay, you can use them in your packages. You can set them up from within your packages, and we already went over that. All of your existing packages right now, when you are setting up your packages, of course, you can load in your existing product templates, the ones that have the automation, the ones that have here's your packages. I'm sorry, I'm duplicating here. When you have your product templates, of course, you have the ones set up that you want to be automated. With your whatever your workflow might be, your due dates, that kind of thing. And then, of course, they all populate into your activity monitor. And then when you're setting up your packages, any of your new product templates that have those automations set up in them are added directly to the activity monitor whenever a package is ordered. So if that package is included as part of a proposal, then all of the product templates are added one at a time and individually. So if you have 3 products in that package, there's 3 products that go into your activity monitor, which just makes it so great because you can control the tempo and how things work for each individual item. There's a lot to take in, I know. This video is shorter simply because the setup for each of these is just so much simpler. Look at your process. What in your process do you need to do to make things simpler on you? Okay. One of the things that I think a lot of you will find once you start using this product, when we start using the Products 2.0 automation with the new templates, is you are going to find areas that you can automate or set up differently. You may find something as simple as, I can't even begin to think of something that's simple as a photographer because for so long everything was deeply complex. But if part of your product is one of your products, for example, requires a specific person to be assigned to your team, it would be great to have the ability to send information to that team member to say, hey, you need to be here for this particular session and not doing what you would ordinarily be doing that day, because it may be something that's heavier, so you need somebody who can lift a little bit more weight. It may be something that requires a special touch, a special skill that they have. So that kind of wraps into where your automation can go. There are a lot of different ways for you to do that, of course. In your workflows, of course, you can communicate with your client, with your staff, with your vendors for that specific product. And your phases and tasks and workflows are just as they are everywhere else. So there's no real difference in things you can do within your tasks. You can switch your statuses, of course. Keep your pipeline clean. I think the reason why I added that as a specific thing is that when you have a clean pipeline, you're not seeing a bunch of statuses hanging out in here or a bunch of things hanging out in here that just don't belong there, or have already been done or have been abandoned for some reason. Something that you should know about is that when an event is paused or deleted or rescheduled or whatever, it doesn't necessarily affect the product automation. Okay, so what you need to do is, if an event is paused and you do have a product template that is linked specifically to an event that may be in a specific phase along the way, you want to be able to say in that circumstances, well, I need to put this on hold. Okay, I need a way to put this on pause. And maybe you need a new status. Maybe you need to add a new status that says product paused. Okay, for the purposes of delaying the event or the project that you're working on that is attached or has attached from the product template. So you need to keep your product pipeline clean. Assign someone or do it yourself to review your product pipeline at least once a week, just to make sure that anything that's run into a snag, you can get behind and make sure what's going on there. Use your statuses, use your product statuses, set them up accordingly. Remember that when you're setting these things up, that they can be set up by type, by product type. And that makes it so much easier for you to assign a different set of your product statuses. So if you had product statuses here that were just for wedding album, you might want to put something in front of it, in front of the name of the internal name. Maybe since this is for wedding albums, you just do WA. And when you save that, it comes in here. Well, this is just for wedding albums. This is only for this. It doesn't have anything to do with any of my other products or services. When you are working with your pipeline, move things along the pipeline to ensure they have the right status. Mark things as finished if they aren't done, or if they aren't marked as finished in the workflow. So if your workflow doesn't have our last workflow here is product delivery, and in that one, product wedding album, we'll just go over to our workflow template and we will open up our product delivery ready. It's done. Okay, so we mark this has has album been delivered, and that's something that happens, looks like 2 weeks after this this workflow starts. It asks, has the album been delivered? And if it has, then it's switched to finished, and you're done. It's done. If there are ones that hang out here too long, hang out in your system, has it been delivered? Has it not been delivered? These are things that you can follow up on and keep your pipeline clean. You can follow the same steps for creating new templates. Be sure to add your workflow if you have any. I only speak of workflows because that's where the automation is. Be sure to set the linking flag to yes. That's important. If you want it to show up in your product template monitor, I keep losing that thing, don't I? If you want it to show up in your product monitor here, then you do need to add it for the purposes of doing your follow-up, your due diligence, making sure that if you do have to go into an item to check on what's going on with it, that you'll have all your information right here, any emails that have gone out, your workflow that's currently in progress, questionnaires that have been sent out, all that stuff is there. And set a realistic due date. I've kind of preached this before, and it seems like it's just redundant for me to keep saying so, but one of the reasons why I thought that was important is that if you have a true due date for something, utilize it for the purpose of making sure that the product is completed in a timely manner. Not necessarily by your vendor or someone that you're getting it from, but within your own system, within your own staff, your own building, your own studio, your own organization, whatever it might be. If people are looking at this due date over here in the product section, your due date has a red date if it's past due. If it's past the due date, it goes red, and you're looking at that going, why is this overdue? If you're that kind of person, if you're the kind of person that likes to keep your due dates, to keep your word, to keep your automation going, then you are going to love having this available to you and your product pipeline to keep track of where everything is. All right, so what I'm going to do, we're going to wrap this up. We're done here. What I'm going to do in part 6 is I have a bunch of stuff prepared for you. I've prepared 3 different scenarios for you. The first one is a family portrait with a special set. And we kind of did that today, but only we just kind of bounced around with a couple of different existing products, makeup and set design and stuff like that. I'm going to do a roofing contractor just so you have a little bit different outside perspective of how things go. And I'm also going to do a hair salon. Hair salons could use Pixify all week long because honestly, it's just like a portrait system or just like a portrait a portrait photographer in that you book an appointment, you're doing a specific service, you just don't have a deliverable outside of them leaving with their hair done, right? Or depending on the salon you go to, there might be services like some offer pedicures, some offer additional spa and massage services. But there's all kinds of stuff that you can wrap into, for example, a hair salon. So here's the thing. I've preached this now for 5 tutorials. And there was one even before that where I was very excited about the Products 2.0 module. I think most of you who have watched the last 5 tutorials can see why I am so excited about this module. It just has so much extensive potential to keep yourself automated, to keep things internal and external going very well. What I'm hoping is that you will find the value in that too, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on all the time in Pixify that is behind the scenes, and you should really be taking advantage of that. I want to encourage you to contact me. If you just need help getting started in this, if you need me to review your process and say, how does this look? If you want to run something by me and let's set up a Zoom call or something like that, all for it. I don't want to charge you for that. I want you to be happy with this, and I want you to work to work through it with the right kind of help so that you can actually have a product that you're happy with. You know, a circumstance, an automation, whatever it is that you are using on a regular basis and can be comfortable using. I don't want you to flounder around out there and say, I can't do this. This is too hard. It's not. You have help. And I'm that guy. I'm that guy who wants to help. All right. So wrapping this up, all done. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. I certainly have been. And I'm going to talk to you guys next time. Please stay safe out there. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.